ये श्री महाराज जी का प्रेम रस मदिरा में ये पद्य है, मिलत नहीं नर तनु बारंबार। ये मानव देह इतना इम्पोर्टेंट है जिसको रेयरेस्ट ऑफ रेयर कहते हैं। किसी किसी को कभी कभी भगवान की विशेष कृपा से प्राप्त होता है। कबहु को करी करुणा नर देही, देत ईश बिनु हेतु सनेही। Although Sri Krishna is causeless merciful, yet he can give anything easily, but not the human form. Kabahu ko kari karuna. He gives the human form to any soul by his special mercy, because he is Binu Hetu Sanehi. Sri Krishna is Akaran Karuna Varunalaya. What is the meaning of Akaran Karuna? All the people in the world, they are Sakaran Karuna. They are merciful with a reason. Everyone is merciful when there is some reason. But nobody is merciful in this world without any reason. You go even in a shop where you don't know, the shopkeeper doesn't know you, you don't know him. But if you ask for anything, no matter how precious is that, if you ask for anything, he gives you, because you will pay for that. He bought the thing in $50 and he is expecting from you $70. So there is some benefit. Even if you just call him on phone, send this thing, you don't have to go there. He will send you to your home also. He is also merciful. He is sending things to you in your home. But he is not causeless merciful. He is merciful, but not causeless merciful. Only God and Guru are causeless merciful. God is merciful because Atma Prayojana Bhave Paranugraha Evahi. The Linga Puran says that he doesn't have to earn or attain anything. He is self-complacent. नमे पार्थास्ति कर्तव्यम त्रिषु लोकेषु किंचन नानवाप्तमवाप्तव्यम वर्त्म एव च कर्मणि. Lord Krishna himself is saying in Gita that I don't have to attain or earn anything. Still, I perform actions for the benefit of the people. I don't have to attain anything. Even I work for the benefit of others. So God is merciful because he is self-complacent. He is Anand himself. He doesn't have to earn, he doesn't have to attain Anand from anywhere. Rather, he is giving Anand to the many deserving souls. Anando Brahmeti Vijanat. He is the personification of Anand. He doesn't need anything. Likewise, the saints who have attained God realization, who have seen God, they also become self-complacent because Janat tumahi hai jai. After knowing God, The devotee who realizes God becomes God himself, because after the moment he realizes God, he does nothing. Why does he not do anything? Because he cannot do anything. Who realizes God? The one who surrenders completely himself unto him. Complete surrender means what? Complete surrender means the surrender of mind and self. When you yourself are surrendered and the only doer, your mind is surrendered, then how can you perform any action anymore? You cannot do anything. This is surrender. Complete surrender means surrender of mind. Mind is the only worker, and mind is surrendered. Now he cannot do anything at all. Now on, God will become the doer of that person. In other words, the body is of the same person. People know that he is the same person, but inside the machinery, internal machinery, which is called antahkarana. Antah means internal, karan means machinery. The internal machinery, the mind, is controlled by God. It has become divine now. It has become the mind of God. That's why Jo kare so hari kare. Now on, it applies that whatever is done by that person is the action of God alone. So, because he has become God, after God realization, God and a saint are not the two different personalities. They are one and the same. Only the body looks different. Everything is same. So only God and a saint, a God realized saint, can be selfless. Akaran karuna. They bestow their grace without any reason. And they can bestow this grace only upon the human beings. That's why it is also said in our scriptures that the most precious gift of God is human body. That's why kabahu ko kari karuna naradehi det ish binu he tu sanehi. Kabahu ko kari. It's so rare that he gives this body to someone very rarely. And only human beings can attain tattva gyan. They can know what is the aim of our life. They can know how can we attain the aim of life. They can learn, they can attain the guidance of a saint because they can understand what the saint is saying. That's why human body is rarest of rare. In other bodies, especially in the body of devatas, we have 1,000 times more knowledge than a human being. The devatas have 1,000 times more powers than a human being, but still they do not have the right of performing actions. You may say they also perform action, though, yes, they perform physical action, but they do not get the fruit of their actions because all other forms of life, leaving only one form of life, which is human form, all other forms of life are called bhog yoni. These forms, the other forms, are given only to undergo the fruits of the bad or good actions. All the forms which are lower than the human form, they undergo the fruits of their bad actions. And all and the devatas which form is higher than human beings, they are given the form. Their form is to enjoy the fruits of their good actions. but they cannot do anything which will give a fruit to them through which they can realize God, they can attain the ultimate goal of life. Shankaracharya ji said, Durlabham trayamevaitat daivanugraha karakam manusyatvam mumukshutvam mahapurusha sanshayah. He's saying there are three things daivanugraha karakam which could be attained only by the special grace of God. What are those three things? Manushyatvam. Number one, the human form. It is not in our hand. You may say that, yes, if we perform good actions, then we are given the human form. But if you think deeply about it, that do you perform good actions and the bad action in the same proportion? Or there is a little difference between good actions and bad actions? If you analyze it, then we will find most of the time we are performing bad actions. As Lord Krishna says in Gita, Man nimittam kritam papam madharmaya cha kalpate mamanadritya dharmopi papam syan mat prabhavatah. If you perform any action remembering me, offering that action to me, only then you are performing a good action. But whenever we perform any action, when we don't remember God, then every action is adharma. Even if you are sitting in the satsang, but your mind is thinking about something else. You're not, your mind is not attached to God and Guru. Your mind is thinking about some material thing. That is adharma. That is pap. You are going to the temple. Who would say that you are doing a pap? But Lord Krishna says that yes, it is a pap. Why? Because you're going to the temple to meet your friends. You are going to temple just to pass your time. There are many aims to go to the temple. If you are not remembering God, then it is very sure that I am going to do something else. And what would be something else? There is no other thing except God and Maya. If your mind is not attached to God, then definitely your mind is attached to the Maya, to the Mayic world. If our mind is attached anywhere to this material world, it means we are performing pap, sin, bad action. So most of the time we are performing bad actions. It is rare when we really remember God or Hari or we think about them, we shed tears for God and Guru. It is rare. But even then, God is so merciful. He finds some excuse to give us human form so that we can attain our ultimate goal of life. He's so much concerned about our welfare. We don't think that much about our welfare as God and Guru think. And that's why it is also said only if you get the darshan of a Guru, of a saint, it is also a very great grace of God. There are nine Yogishwar, Kavi Harir Antariksha, Prabuddha Pippalayana, Avirhotroth Dumalash Chamasa Karabhajanam. There are nine Yogishwar. Once they went to a king, Nimi. He was a king of the entire earth. He was very humble, religious, and a devotee of God. When these nine Yogeshwar reached his kingdom, he welcomed them and said, Durlabho manusho deho dehinam kshanabhangurah tatrapi durlabham manye vaikuntha priyadarshanam. Although this human form, durlabho manusho deho, it is inaccessible. Durlabho manusho deho dehinam kshanabhangura. Although it is temporary, Manav Deha is also very temporary, like other bodies. But it is durlabh, it is inaccessible. Only by the extreme grace of God one can attain human form. From that point of view, all of us who have attained human form are extremely fortunate. So he says, my fortune is now obvious because number one, I have attained human form, and number two, tatrapi durlabham manye vaikuntha pridarshanam. Darshan of a saint is more inaccessible. It's more difficult to attain darshan of a saint. And I'm seeing nine Yogeshwar, nine saints here at my place. So it is rarest of rare to attain human form. So Shankaracharya says, Manushyatvam, Mumukshutvam. A little more difficult is to have the knowledge that I have to realize God. This is the only aim of my life. All other things, whatever we do in human form, we do in other forms as well. Only one thing is impossible to do in any other form whatsoever. As I explained before, that even the devatas cannot do that. What? To attain the ultimate goal of life. The ultimate goal of life for all the living beings, from an ant to Brahma. Everyone wants to attain only one thing, that is bliss, true divine bliss. That is the only aim of all the living beings. But only human beings can attain it. This right is given only to the human beings. Once some devotees asked Tulsidas Ji Maharaj that you admire human form so much. Why? What is that important in human form? Even the comparison of the body of human beings is given with the animals. And you say it is very important. There are many kinds of knowledge which is attained by the animals without any training. Well, we have to take so much training, even then, sometimes we fail to be successful in that knowledge. And the devatas have thousands times more knowledge, thousand times more powers. And their body is also beautiful, so beautiful that if a human being just have a look of their body, we cannot l- live in senses. We will completely be unconscious. There's so much fragrance in the body that we cannot tolerate it. There's so many specialties in the body of the devatas. Then why do you admire so much this human body? Tulsidas ji answered, Narak, Swarg, Apvarg, Niseni. It is a stair of Narak, Swarg, Apvarg. One can easily attain Narak. They said, what are you talking about? I'm asking what is the importance of human form. Why do you admire so much this human form. You are saying because we can attain Narak? He said, yes. It means whatever you want to attain. Most of the people want to attain Narak. You would say, no, no, we are not that foolish that we want to attain Narak. It, it is very obvious because most of us, are doing all the actions which can take us towards Narak only. Once, a person went to a saint and he asked him that, tell me, what is better to choose, Narak or Swarg? Where should I go? He said, it is your choice. No, no, no. I don't want to be bored anywhere. Tell me where there is more, uh, lively atmosphere. I want to go there. Then he said, Narak is better because lots of people are there, and in Swarg only some devotees of God go, and they are busy only in puja, part, this and that. So there is very loneliness. But Narak, there are lots of people go in Narak. Then he said, I will choose Narak then. He said, but you should keep one more thing in your mind. What? That in Narak, you will be punished also very badly. You have to suffer a lot. Oh, we are habitual of that. When somebody else is suffering, then we laugh. When we suffer, other people laugh. So this is our nature. This is our practice. Don't worry about that. So if you are like that, if you want to go to Narak to enjoy the atmosphere of Narak, then you can do. Vedas say that what will you do to go to Narak? Perform that kind of action, you will go to Narak. And number two is Swarga. Those who are little more intelligent, wise, they choose Swarg, although they are also foolish. Because to go to Swarg, you have to do a lot. Number one, you should read all the scriptures. Then you should understand the meaning of all the scriptures. Then you have to practice according to that. And then in practice, there should not be any fault. And that way, if you perform 100 yajna in row without any fault, only then you will attain Swarg. And then ते तं भुक्त्वा स्वर्गलोकं विशालं क्षीणे पुण्ये मर्त्यलोकं विशन्ति. With so many labor and difficulties will attain Swarga, and then tetam bhuktva, you will enjoy the fruits of your all good deeds. And then you will be hurled down only to the same cycle of death and birth. After doing so much labor, you will enjoy only the amount of your good deeds. The Vedas also say, Ishta purtam manyamana varishtham nanyachreyo vedayante pramudhaha nakasya pristhete sukritenu bhutvemam lokam hinataram va vishanti. The Vedas are saying those who desire for Swarg, they are not foolish. Then pramudha, they are extremely foolish. Why? Nakasya prishthetenu bhutvevam. They will go to Swarg. They will attain the luxury of heaven. But tetam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam. Nakasyat prishtete sukritenu bhutvemam. They will enjoy their sukrit. They will enjoy their good deeds. And then lokam hinataram va vishanti. And then again, either in the same mrityu lok or the lower forms of life, they will be sent. So they are foolish. After doing so much labor, they will enjoy their the fruits of their good deeds only for a little time. And then again they will go in the same situation. Again they have to start from ABCD. So Narak, Swarga, Apavarga, and more wiser people, they desire for moksha. They become free from the miseries forever. But according to Shivaraji, they are also extremely foolish. Why? Now, neither they will attain the worldly pleasure, now they will attain the divine pleasure. Because moksha means what? Maya nivritti. Now you are completely free from Maya. If Maya is not there, miseries are not there. Maya has gone forever. So miseries have gone forever from your life. Maya has gone. That's why now you do not have the Mayic body, the Mayic mind, the intellect, anything. Only our soul is divine. So only soul, divine soul is left. The divine soul merges into the supreme divine soul of God. It merges. Yatha nadya syandamana samudre stangachanti nama rupe vihaya tatha vidwan nama rupad vimakta parat param purushmupaiti divyam. Like the rivers, they merge into the ocean in the same way. Tatha vidwan nama rupad vimukta. He loses all his identity there. No name, no body, nothing. And he merges into the Supreme Being. So the river becomes ocean. In the same way, the soul merges into the Supreme Being, merges into the personified bliss, and it becomes the part of bliss. When it has become bliss itself, then how can he enjoy the bliss? If Rasgulla is here in front of you, you can enjoy. If you are eating rasgulla, there are two things, rasgulla and yourself. So if you are eating rasgulla, you can tell, oh, rasgulla is so delicious. It's very sweet. But if you become rasgulla yourself, then how can you tell about the sweetness of rasgulla? So the Gyanis, they attain moksha and they become rasgulla themselves. So in that way, neither they attain, they have free from the material happiness, which is actually not happiness, which is misery. They are free from there also, and they cannot attain divine bliss as well now because they have merged into Supreme Being. They cannot come out now anymore. So Narak Swarga Apavarga Nasini Jnana Virag Bhakti Sukhdeni. And those who are more intelligent, they attain Jnana, Vairagya, and Bhakti. So you can attain anything. Bhakti is the last thing, the highest thing. Why? Because in bhakti, God, the supreme God, Almighty God, becomes a slave of the devotee. Aham bhakta paradhina. He says, I am under the control of my devotees. And he also says, Anubrajamyaham nityam puyaye tyangre renuve. I love my devotees so much that anubrajamyaham nityam. I always go behind them. I don't walk in front of them like a lord. No, I go behind them like a servant. Why? To protect them? No, no, no. I'm protecting them all the time sitting in their heart. I don't need to do that. Then why do you follow your devotees? He says, so that I can take bath in the foot dust of my devotees. And I want to be pure. Their foot dust will make me pure. That's why, with this desire, I go behind my devotees. So bhakti is the highest thing. So whatever we want to attain in this life, it is up to us. We can attain anything. But there is a third thing which is most inaccessible according to Shankaracharya Maharaj, the first Jagat Guru, Mahapurusha Sanshaya, attainment of a real Guru. As I said, the highest result would be attained only by bhakti. That's why the highest kind of Guru is that who can teach us how to practice devotion, how to attain God by devotion, and what is the real devotion. And devotion also, there are many levels, as you know. Devotion of dasya bhav, sakhya bhav, vasalya bhav, and madhurya bhav. The devotion of madhurya bhav is highest. In madhurya bhav also, sadharani rati, samanjasa rati, samartha rati. There are three levels. Samartha rati is highest. In samartha rati as well, those who reach up to mahabhav, those who love God, they love Sri Krishna as their beloved and Sri Radharani as their Swamini. Those who attain Maharaj, that is the highest level. And we are so fortunate that we have attained the Mahapurush of the highest level. There's no other level. Any devotee can go up to Ruda Mahabhav only. This is the stage of of a soul, of a jeev. Any jeev, including Lalita, Vishakha, etc. Nobody can go beyond Ruda Mahabhav. There's another stage higher than Ruda Mahabhav is Adhirud Mahabhav, where only Sri Krishna can go, even Lalita, Vishakha, etc. cannot go. And it is proven that Shri Maharaj Ji has gone up to Adhirud Mahabhav. He was the Mahapurush of Adhirud Mahabhav. Who can be higher than that? Any avatar of any Mahapurush cannot reach up to that stage except him. If there is any Mahapurush who goes up to Adhirud Mahabhav, it means he is the incarnation of Swam Sri Krishna. Lord Krishna Himself, the Supreme Lord Krishna Himself. So we have attained everything. There's nothing to be attained anymore by any devotee of Sri Maharaj Ji. But still, we know our pitiable condition. We could not attain the love of Sri Krishna. Why? How would we attain the love of Sri Krishna? Only by the grace of God. Only by the grace of God. And I have told you the grace, that grace could be attained only by God and God realized souls. So, darshan, these Mahapurush are so merciful. We experienced this. We came here, all the people who are coming from the different countries, they came here to earn more money. Nobody came here to do sadhana. Yeah, I will go to America and I will become a sannyasi. I will go to Mangar and live in ashram. No, nobody came with that aim in this world. But He's so merciful. And no matter where you live, in which part of the world you live, He can see. These are the foreign countries for us, not for God and Guru, because they are seeing the entire world like it is in their palm. They can see anything. And they know where their surrendered people are living. They are seeing them all. We came on this earth only to get the association of Sri Maharaj Ji, all the satsangis of Sri Maharaj Ji. We have seen Maharaj before as well, many times, in many past lives. Very slow. We are very slow. We are going to this path very slowly. You must have noticed. There are many satsangis who come in satsang, and very soon it is seen that they have the symptoms of bhav bhakti. And other people are coming for 10, 20, 30, 50 years. They have nothing like that. They could not reach bhav bhakti. They, they cannot even shed tears for God. Their condition is so pitiable. Why? Because they are also making progress slowly, slowly, slowly. And they have accomplished a lot by their past lives, and we are still slow. So, first kripa of Guru, which was in his hand, is already bestowed to all of us. We had darshan of Sri Maharaj Ji, Vaikuntha Priya Darshanam. This is the greatest kripa of Guru, that he gave darshan. Otherwise, why should he give us darshan? What is our condition? What is our status in front of a saint? A saint is enjoying the divine bliss of divine pastimes of Sri Radha Krishna all the time. He is dwelling in Golok all the time. He is engaged in divine pastimes ceaselessly all the time. So, one who is enjoying that bliss, why should he look towards that? Our heart is so dirty that even Sri Maharaj is sitting in front of us. We don't miss to think wrong things in our mind. That time also, if Maharaj is saying something, inside our mind we criticize, oh, Maharaj should not say that, not at this time. If Maharaj is scolding us on some point, instead of feeling that he's so nice, he thinks that I am so close to him that he can scold me in front of so many people. I am so close to him. Instead of thinking about like this, for Maharaji, we think, oh no, Maharaji should not say. He could have said to me anything in his room, but why is he scolding me in front of so many people? Sometimes we say, Maharaji, if Maharaji could do this, then it would be better. It means we know more than Maharaji. What is better and what is not better. That's why we use our mind. We're sitting and thinking something wrong about other devotee. That is also nama aparad. So in sitting in front of Sri Maharaj Ji, we often committed nama aparad without any fear. So our heart is so dirty. Why should he look at us? Just because his nature of costless mercy. So this is the first mercy of a saint, that he gives darshan to us. You are sitting in far away country, and he sends his pracharaks. And pracharak does not know that why am I here? Who is which devotee of Sri Maharaj is waiting here? Pracharak does not know. But Sri Maharaj sits in the hearts of the pracharak and inspires to speak something like that, which will just drag that mind of the person who Sri Maharaj wants to call. Maharaj. So sometimes you meet someone by the way. We say, I met that person by the way, and he talked about Shimaji by the way. Then I could like the philosophy of Shimaji by the way. Then I made this program and I went to Mangar, and by the way, I saw the bhav of Shri Maharaji. By the way, I had the association of Shri Maharaji, and now I have become the devotee of Shri Maharaji. We say like that, by the way. It is not by the way. It is only by the grace of Sri Maharaj. that we were living very far from India. We could not even imagine that we will go in a very small village of India, that is also the village of UP. We'll go there. But it was the grace of Sri Maharaj. Somehow he searched us. He searched and he called us. We could see Sri Maharaj. So this is the first grace, the costless mercy of a guru. And then he also brought us very close to him to give knowledge. What do you have to do? What is the aim of your life? And he explained in such a easy way, in such a simple way, that we, manda sumanda matayo, the human beings of this yug, of Kali Yug, they are dumb, their intellectual power is very low, their grasping power is very low. Even then, we could understand what Shimahaji said. It was also his causeless mercy. The philosophy of all the Vedas, all the scriptures, was explained by him to us who had no idea of any scriptures. Many of us, the pracharaks also, never even saw the scriptures. And there are many scriptures which we did not even look at. We don't know how does it look, how big is that scripture and how does it look like. But Maharaj Ji has given the entire knowledge of that scriptures as well to us and to all of you too. He has given that knowledge. This is also his causeless mercy. He talks to us like a father talks, like a mother talks to a child. He talks to us, explains everything. Sometimes he asks very foolish questions. Even then, he never gets angry. He never got upset. Rather, he explains it very well. Just imagine if a prime minister of this country is going somewhere in a big crowd and he comes down from his car and sh- shakes his hand with you, then you will be so happy. You will feel like, I am so fortunate. Oh, Prime Minister came to me to shake hand. Suppose you are going somewhere and the Prime Minister sees you and he comes and he hugs you. Then you will say, oh, what a foolishness. Why? Why are you coming to me? Who are you? You will not feel good. But you know that he is the Prime Minister. Oh, I am so fortunate. He came himself and he hugged me. So why are we not getting any benefit of Sri Maharajji's association? He's so merciful, he's so loving. He's bestowing his grace upon us all the time. He's showering his grace without any price. But still there is no progress in our sadhana. Why? Because we do not recognize him. When he gives us so much love, so proximity of relationship, then we think that we deserve it. I'm so good. I'm good amongst all other devotees. That's why he's paying so much attention to me. We think that this is our right. We don't realize that it is his causeless mercy. Then why should he look towards me? Why should he hug me? Why should he talk to me? We could not recognize. Why? Because we are careless. The only reason of our very slow progress is carelessness, nothing else. Sri Maharaj Ji says in all his lectures, The same thing, that think more about Shri Radha Krishna or Guru. Whatever you do, wherever you go, think about him. Just make a practice of it. It's not very, very difficult. And he gives very practical examples about it. Like when you started learning ABCD, it was hard to recognize the letters only, A to Z. Then the teacher trained us to write a small words, cat, mat, rat, etc. Still, it was difficult for us to remember them. Then we started writing small sentences. He goes, he reads, in that way. Then we started writing little more bigger sentences. Then we are able to write the essays. So we learned it little by little by practice only. So why can we not do that? Remember him all the time, feel the presence of him all the time, and feel we know it. It is our experience. There is no happiness in this world anywhere, but still we look for good, everything which can give comfort to our body, which can give more pleasure to our senses. We have only five senses, and we always desire to have the pleasure of our five senses only. We did not even learn that much. That the pleasure of these senses is so temporary, and eventually it is miserable. So why are you even thinking? Why don't you make your mind understand there is no happiness in this world anywhere? Do your duty and remember God all the time. This is what Shri Maharaj Ji is saying in all his lectures, and we are listening. But we listen from this year and we take it out from this year. And we think that because God has given 2 years, one to take in, one to take it out. We are using both the ears in that way. It is what our carelessness, only carelessness. We are not making any progress because of carelessness. So we should try to assess the value of the grace of God. What could be greater grace than that we got Sri Maharaj Ji as our Guru? And he is so merciful. He gave us maximum time. We were so much attached to this material world all the time, making excuses. Oh, Maharaji, I have work, I have no vacation, I cannot take leave, otherwise I will lose my job. I cannot come because of this. My examination of my child is going on. There are so many foolish excuses we used to make in front of Maharaji, who is omniscient. Why? Because of the attachment towards the world. And still, Sri Maharaji was so merciful. He was cringing in front of us. No, no, please come. Come, come. Oh, everything will be okay. Come, come. Maharaji was saying like that. But still, because we are careless, we didn't pay any attention. Who is calling us? Who is inviting us? He is desired by Brahma, Vishnu, Shankar. They cannot have darshan of Maharajji because he is Sri Krishna himself. They are looking for his darshan, and we are getting darshan in free without any cost. He is inviting us, and we are making excuses like we are greater than him. He needs our darshan. We were behaving like that. What is that? Our carelessness. We didn't assess the value of his grace. So, still, it is not too late until we have this body. We remember Sri Maharaj. We remember the graces of Sri Maharaj. We remember the beautiful pastimes of Sri Maharaj. We remember the beautiful things which happen um, in association of Maharaj with us. There's so many things he left for us to remember. This is also his mercy, causeless mercy. He came here, he gave us so much, and then his memory, he left his memories, his names, his pastimes, the events which happened with us. So, sumere sumere nar utirahi para. So, still, if we remember his philosophy, and only one thing which Maharaj Ji repeated many times in mostly in all his lectures, that do not forget him even for a moment. Wherever you go, whatever you do, just say Radhe, Radhe. Maharaj is not saying that when you're working in your office, do Rup Dhyan. No, he says just say Radhe, Radhe. Start from here. Say Radhe, Radhe all the time. Feel the presence of your Guru all the time. It's not very difficult. If we start this practice, I can challenge within 15 days, you will start feeling the presence of Sri Maharaj Ji all the time. Wherever you go, whatever you do, you feel Maharaj Ji is here. He is bestowing his grace upon us anyway, although we are careless. We're not listening to him. This is also an insult of Guru if you don't listen to him. Like if you say something to your child and he just ignores, he doesn't listen to you, then you also feel insulted. When Mahaprabhu Chaitanya said to Shri Haridas Ji, because he became sannyasi, then he said, you should not take bhiksha from any lady. You're supposed to take the alms only from the men. And there was an old lady, her name was Madhvi. She was an old lady, 65 years old lady. And he went to get some rice, not for himself, for Mahaprabhu Chaitanya. He had to make prasad for Mahaprabhu Chaitanya. So he went to take rice. He didn't get the rice anywhere else. So he asked her to give some rice. When Mahaprabhuji came to know that he scolded him like anything, I told you that you don't have to bring the bhiksha from any lady. Why did you ask for bhiksha from her, Madhvi? And if you disobeyed me, it means you killed me already. These were the words of Mahaprabhu Chaitanya. कि तुमने आज्ञा उल्लंघन करने के पहले ही गुरु की हत्या कर दी. These are the words of Mahaprabhu Chaitanya. And we are doing very often, every day. Because we don't know the Mahatmya, the importance, the significance of the association of causeless, merciful Sri Maharaj. So we have to think about it again and again. We come here for satsang, at least every Sunday or once in a week. All the satsangis of Sri Maharaj Ji are attending satsang and they are doing some sadhana also. Why are we doing sadhana? Just to revise all those things. I am not saying anything which is new. You must have heard it thousands of times from Maharaj Ji and from other pracharas as well. But we repeat, Avriti Raskrutupadeshat, because this is also a rule that you must listen to Sadhupadesh, the good things, the good teachings again and again, because good and bad sanskars of everyone comes and go. If the good sanskar are awakened in your mind, then any sentence may strike, and then you will be determined firmly that I have to start it from right now, from this moment on. I have to do it. This is all what we have to do. Sri Maharaj is waiting for that moment when we will decide firmly that now I have decided from this moment on, I will do it. I will feel the presence of Sri Maharaj Ji. I cannot remember God, but I can remember Sri Maharaj Ji. He is mine. I have seen him. I have attained his love. He loves us. So I can remember Sri Maharaj Ji now on, from this moment on, I will feel the presence of Sri Maharaj Ji for sure. The moment we will feel, when moment we will decide, will be determined to do that, then how can we remember other bad things? How can we remember this person is bad, this person said to me like this person is good? No, because Maharaj Ji is there, so you will think about Maharaj Ji only. And in presence of Sri Maharaj Ji, everyone will look good to you. There will no vices, will be seen by you. So we have to start that practice, thinking that God and Guru, they are causeless merciful. And in the last also, see, his darshan is causeless mercy. Then his association is causeless mercy, because without mercy, how can he look at us? Why would he give this knowledge when we are not listening to him? We are avoiding all the time. But still, he's after us. Four lectures were giving Maharaji in a day. Why? If you have heard the voice of Sri Maharaji in the beginning and compare the voice of Maharaji in the last days, you will feel the difference. Maharaji's throat is permanently bad for a long time. His voice was very sweet before. Now his throat is totally bad for a long time. Why? Because he was doing so much labor with us. He was giving so much knowledge to us all the time. Not only when he was giving lectures. Sometimes he was sitting with the devotees. And even then he kept on talking. If you see the audio video tapes of Masuri, nobody was asking any question. Soon as Mahaji was sitting outside on his palang, he started talking about something. Like constantly he was giving knowledge to us, was plundering his knowledge. Why? Because of his the nature of causeless merciful. He is causeless merciful. That's why he did it. And in the last as well, if we are doing anything wrong, if we are misled, if there is something lacking in our sadhana, if I started doing something wrong in our sadhana, again he will come and he will let us know that no, don't do this. Sometimes what he does, if any bad sanskar is going to come in our life, he will make uh, aware of us. No, he would not say that this kind of bad sanskar is going to come on you, but to escape us from that, to save us from that bad sanskar, he will send us somewhere else. He will give some other work to do so that we will not get involved in that bad atmosphere. He had done it many times with many, many people, and sometimes you still don't listen to him. Like if you go there at that place, then this kind of kusang is going to hamper you. So Mahaji would say, go there. You have to do this work for me. Go there. And if it's stubborn, no, Mahaji, it's very important for me to go to my say back. I'm going, no, Mahaji, I cannot go. Then you have to undergo. It happened many times. He bear yoga shame of all his devotees so much. So he saves us and tell us next what you have to do. If you have accomplished this level of devotion, then he will come again and say, no, don't do this. You have to add this also. He will take you to this level. Now you have accomplished this level. He said, no, this is wrong. Don't do it. Do this now. then he will take you to this level. He was doing all that. Yoga Kshemam Vahamya. He was taking care of all the devotees. And at the end, he will give the Prem Dan also. Guru only gives the Prem Dan. God cannot come. He will teach us how to do sadhana. By sadhana, he will help us in purifying our heart. As soon as the heart will become completely pure, then he will bestow the love, divine love, and then we can see God. Then we can realize God. Everything from starting of sadhana to God realization is done only by the Guru because of his causeless mercy. So, all what we have to do to realize the mercy of Sri Maharaj Ji and resolve that is first order, that feel the presence of God all the time and say Radhe Radhe whenever you get a time, even for a second, say Radhe Radhe. So we should determine firmly that now on I will start doing this thing. I hope some of you will thinking, must be thinking that I will resolve it from today, from this moment on. Can I know, is there anyone who has resolved? Raise your hand. Thank you. I am also one of them. तो बोलिए अलबेली सरकार की जय.